Planning and Zoning and Building Committee meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman Artwood. Alderman Curelli.
Here.
Alderman Messina.
Here. Sorry. No, it's good.
Alderman Sismarski. Alderwoman Ames. Here. Alderman Artwood.
Here.
Alderman Kellogg.
Here, we have a quorum. Next, I need approval of the minutes of the meeting of September 12, 2024.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any corrections to the minutes? If there are none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is a report recommendation, map amendment rezoning upon annexation via annexation agreement and preliminary subdivision plat, including vacation of streets for 7 properties in the Cyber 1 Data Center Campus Phase 2, Bryn Mawr Phase 3. And Director, you had a brief presentation?
I do. Thank you, Chairman.
Take it away.
It's just a few slides long. So this item is related to the 7 properties that were not included in the prior approval of Phase 3 for the Cyrus 1 complex. We did, if you remember, back in March, we approved 63 properties that were annexed, rezoned, streets were vacated, subdivision plat, preliminary subdivision plat was approved. But Cyrus 1 did not yet own these 7 properties, and so they were excluded. And so now that Cyrus owns these 7 properties, we're moving forward and kind of incorporating them into the development. So I think everybody's pretty much familiar. Bryn Mawr Phase 2 and Phase 3 are both owned by Cyrus 1, and they do plan to construct about 5 data centers on the property. I'm calling it a data center campus. I don't know if they're calling it that, but that's how I'm going to refer to it. So tonight we're talking about properties in Phase 3, the southerly portion. So back in March, we did approve the annexation rezoning subdivision, like I mentioned, of the properties that are outlined in yellow. You can kind of see that there were some lots that were excluded down on Hawthorne, down here on Hawthorne, and in this area of Washington. These 7 lots are the ones we're talking about this evening. So the property is surrounded by, and you can see the 7, the property that is under consideration this evening is surrounded almost entirely by industrial zoning, except for this area that's already incorporated into Bensonville, that's R3 and commercial. This is commercial used properties, and the reason some of the properties are zoned R3 is they're owned by a church. There are no residences in this area. Across the street, Bensonville also has industrial zoning, so the proposal is upon rezoning, upon annexation, to rezone all the parcels to I-1 limited industrial. The CDC did have a public hearing on September 16th, and they considered the rezoning to I-1 light industrial, and they considered the preliminary subdivision plat. So what's happening is the 63 lots that were previously annexed and the 7 that we're talking about this evening are all going to be blended into a single lot. The remainder of this portion of Washington, which we had to allow to remain because of the 5 lots up there that weren't included, that is now being vacated. The total area of Phase 3 is about 47 acres. And the CDC at their meeting did vote 6-0 to recommend approval of these requests. In Phase 3, now that all 7 properties are incorporated, the Cyrus 1 is proposing 3 buildings. I believe they consider this very large building 2 separate buildings, which is why you see B and
Alderman Woods had a question. Go ahead.
So we're just approving the annexation and the lot consolidation, right?
Yes.
And vacation of the street tonight.
Yes.
For clarity.
You are correct.
And one other question while I have you, could you go back one slide? So the other side of Foster, that is residential though, yes?
Yes, this is
Okay,
residential.
That's it.
Continue.
So, once those 7 lots are annexed, this is what they are proposing. This is a very large building, and they build it as 2 separate buildings. They just have a shared wall. So technically, you can consider it 6 buildings, but since it looks like this is a single building, we've been saying it's 5 buildings. These are the 5 buildings from a rendering as shown. These 2 buildings up here in the ComEd substation were in phase 2. We are very close to issuing a building permit out for this building. We have to have a pre-construction meeting with their construction team, and then you'll start seeing some activity out there. ComEd substation will follow, and then these are the other buildings in phase 3 that'll be constructed later. So this evening, the request before you is the map amendment or the rezoning and the approval of the preliminary subdivision plat. As I mentioned, CDC does recommend approval and staff does recommend approval, and that concludes my presentation.
Okay. So now all the homes are purchased, there's no more residents in that location, correct?
Yes, as of today, there are no more residents.
Okay. Any questions? R.D. Woods, go ahead.
The CDC meeting, the gentleman from Cyrus One who was giving the presentation was talking about one of the buildings getting bigger now that the 7 properties, I know we're just talking about the annexation tonight, but is that something we're going to learn more about in the future?
I don't know if I included that at the end. I did not. So the layout was a little bit different for these buildings, partially because there were a couple of homes here that, so this building was originally intended to be much smaller, but now it can become bigger.
Do you know about how much bigger?
Not off the top of my
I'm
head.
sure we're going to talk about that in the future. I was just.
Okay.
Right, we're not approving
This-
the buildings, right?
We are not at this point. They will be coming back to City Council and PZB for PUD approval before the end of the year, hopefully.
Okay, any other questions? I'll make the motion to approve the map amendment and rezoning.
Second?
And if we have no other questions, roll call, please.
Alderman Art Woods,
Yes.
Alderman Currielli,
Yes.
Alderman Messina,
Yes.
Alderwoman Ames,
Yes.
Alderman Artie
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes, motion carries.
Hold on.
I'm sorry?
Alderman Sismarski.
Oh,
Thank you. Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
thank you. Motion carries. Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Okay, items to consider at future meetings. The downtown park site plan, RFP results, and that's coming up October the 10th. Is there any other items to consider? If there are none, I'll make a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.
I'd like to call to order the Public Health, Safety, Judiciary, and Ethics Committee. Let the minute taker note that the same council members are present. Call for approval of the minutes for February 8th, 2024 for the Public Health, Safety, and Judiciary and Ethics Committee minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion, a second.
Second.
Any comments, questions, adjustments? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Report and recommendation, Police Department, City Hall Interior Renovation Project, Rotunda Change Order. Chief, do you have a few words?
Yeah, so the city, I've got Mike Elliott with FGM Architects here with me this evening to go through the presentation. The City Council previously approved an agreement with Pacific Construction Services, LLC, for the Police Department City Hall Interior Renovation Project. During phase 1 of the project, during demolition, we ran into some significant issues in the lobby area, and Mike's here tonight. He's going to explain the issues and the solutions to solve those problems.
Thank you. Let's see if I get the right one. How's this one work? Okay. This is an overall floor plan of the building. As we're showing, the area that we're talking about is the center phase. I'm sure everyone's seen it by now, as far as a reference point in the original awarded bids that went to Pacific. As the chief was mentioning, as we started the demolition, as we started to pull away the vinyl wall covering, mold was discovered trapped beneath the wall covering on the drywall edges seen as far as along the edges of the existing skylight, all around the doors, in all those different areas. As we dug into it, we discovered that the cause was moisture actually building up on the steel underneath through condensation, because there was no insulation around any of the steel and any of those pieces, and it was just trapped beneath the vinyl wall covering. After the drywall was removed, you could start to visibly see the moisture that had built up in all those different areas. And these are just some additional photos of some of the areas that have been opened up. It was opened up so it could air out and everything could dry out. We look to do a base level corrective action as far as what would need to be done just to kind of bring it back and restore it to that point. So we had removed all the drywall. We were proposing spray foam insulation around all the steel to actually isolate that and not let the cold transfer in, because basically it's through condensation, the cold from the outside hits the warm air, moisture forms on the steel. So we're looking to mitigate that as far as the solution, and we developed details for the roof and the walls and all those different points. So we did a description here as far as to, once we've insulated around all the steel and gotten all those things isolated, we come back in and build new soffits and repair all the drywall, and then continue on with the finishes that were planned in the original scope of work. Also in here, just wanted to point out that we were looking to replace the weather seals on the existing revolving door and those different things. So for this base work to correct this, we were looking at a dollar amount of $195,787. Just mind you, while we were going through this, we did have the manufacturer of the skylight come out, and they looked at the skylight was intact and there was not leaking around the skylight.
Mayor, please.
Yeah. So I didn't hear you mention anything about the doors, the revolving door. I know we had some water issues sitting up there, drainage from there. Is that wasn't, I didn't see that anywhere in this first.
So included in that amount, I apologize, we were looking to replace the small existing windows. Sorry, I didn't want to read bullet by bullet, right?
The fourth top.
So if I go by the bullets, so we had to remove the direct davit drywall, do the spray foam. Third is remove and replace all the existing small windows up around the top, because those were a leak point. Remove the exterior soffits and roofing of both the revolving door canopies to correct the roof drainage. So we'd be leaving the existing fascia and take out the bottom and the top to redo those to make sure those are draining properly.
Okay.
So then that'd be the replace all the drywall, replace the weather seals at the door, then complete the interior finishes per the original scope of work. And then as part of this scope, the existing skylight and translucent wall panels would remain in place.
Follow up?
Yeah, I apologize. My Surface Pro died.
Okay. I apologize for not going one by one. I hate to read a presentation, but I should.
Well, I ordered one. I got one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Ready for his allowance.
No, I got theirs, not my own.
The question, the mold, is it a reoccurring event, or did it happen one time, long time ago, or recent? Could you tell at all?
I think this has just been reoccurring over time and probably just building up over time. Probably every season with the cold has built up as it looked like underneath and we found it in that location. We found it in a number of locations throughout the PD as we were doing the demolition.
Mayor, please.
So I don't know if you're going to continue and show us the other phases, or are you guys just going to stay with this? Okay, just making sure.
We wanted to kind of just roll them out by the different
Okay.
pieces, just so you could see all the different options we had created.
It's a quick question.
Randy, Alderman Messina?
Yeah, so I know you mentioned, I appreciate the exterior because I was wondering that. So the soffit's great, roof lines. Was there anything with the actual facade of the building? Did you guys was there an examination of that to make sure there's nothing with that might be?
We haven't, especially since we stripped everything back, we haven't seen any water infiltration coming through the masonry at all.
Nothing in the foundation or any of that?
We initially had a membrane issue on the roof that we found, and Public Works addressed that under the warranty with the roofing company.
Okay.
So that one leak that we did have in the lobby that you may have seen, that's been corrected and solved.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
So as part of the continued, trying to look at a holistic look at the entire space, we started to look at the area around the entire lobby and one that could potentially look to remove the revolving doors and actually update that with more of a modern vestibule and things of that nature that you see in many buildings. Because we found over time there's been issues with securing the doors and things like that for years, as we understand, as we going through. So as with that would be, and I have some subsequent slides on this. So we looked at an option as far as to replace that, as well as in doing this work. We looked at this entire area as far as some of the pitching towards the building. There's actually a clean out here that's really kind of extends up through the space. So we tried to take an entire look at it while we were kind of approaching this, as well as we looked at options to and get pricing to replace some of the translucent panels that are on the side walls and the cap. So we pulled all these things together in different pricing options. So as we're describing as option 2 would be to point to the floor plan here. We would look to remove both of the revolving doors on either side, and then on the parking lot side construct a new vestibule that would have the dual doors, the weather seals, allow the now accessible control electronics as far as to secure the doors and things of that nature on there, and then replace some of the work here, actually remove this door here, and redo the entire patio area out here as far as all the paving. So we were looking to remove all the paving and rework that.
Mike's Mr. Chairman. Alderman Ames, or Alderwoman Ames, sorry.
So in reading this, I could see there was some, like the revolving door is damaged, it's broken right now, so, and those seem very out of date for revolving doors. I love this new design because it's new and fresh, and obviously the door's broken now.
So that happened actually after the fact, while we were doing this. The incident with the door happened. I guess I would describe it as an incident.
Yeah, we had an incident where the doors lock at night manually after business hours, and we had a resident that was trying to enter the building through the revolving door and not the door that dispatch can unlock on the left side, and the door broke while he was trying to enter it. We're currently awaiting an estimate on repairing that door to get it back functioning as it was before.
So then we would potentially be repairing a door that if we decide to go with this, that we would be removing, right?
If the staff option, the staff recommendation is the lower cost option to get us back functioning how it was before we even touched the lobby. If the council decides to go with a new option where the revolving doors are going to be replaced, then we would not repair that current door.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Catalano?
Yeah, we're going to power wash the bricks, because if you go to the next slide, the slide before that, I mean, the brickwork is so terrible. Hopefully, we're going to power wash that if we're going to put in the pavers, right? Is that included?
I think we didn't have an exact number to pursuing power wash, but there would be some cleaning up as far as the building with doing the new vestibule, which was, in essence, would be adding a new structure to the outside of the door, as shown in this being this structure that would become outside into the patio.
Right. So the outside power wash, that's not going to happen. We have to do that separately.
Correct.
Mayor, please.
So that new vestibule, is that all aluminum, I take it?
Yes.
Okay.
And that would have a whole new roof piece on it, and actually would take the drains that currently those roof drains, there's a roof drain that then comes into the building and then out. So it would be abandoning that with a new drainage system that goes directly out, that stays outside of the building and comes up that direction. And then with this option, we're removing the entire patio area, reworking that, because we need to adjust the grades as far as with the new construction.
And
Follow?
yeah, and if we went with this option, we have to go with this blue, or can we just go with stainless aluminum?
It can go with this.
plain,
This was just a representation. No selection has been made.
I
think we started with the blue because you have blue in the building.
Right, but I think we're getting away with that when we change the windows in the
Yes.
police department, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alderman Messina?
Yeah, I'm all for a refresh. I'm just, the scope has changed so many times, so I'm lost. Not lost. I appreciate what you're showing, but like the pavers, I don't remember. And I just feel like it's becoming a runaway train. I'm a huge fan of PDA, as they know, but like, do we really need the pavers? I mean, can we not use what we have? I mean, we're already running into so many unexpected costs.
We have to remove a certain amount of them just for the construction of the vestibule outside. And we have to adjust some of the grades to, as far as accessibility to get to the door. So that's kind of led to the reworking of some of that area. We could probably go back and look to maybe cut it back a little bit, but we're going so far with that, nothing would match up.
I mean, I'm not the builder here on this, but I'm guessing like a poured concrete in part of the area would drive the cost down. But if it's minimal and it's going to ruin the aesthetic, then I just didn't know what we're talking about, right? Like a patio for me would cost me 10 grand. I have no idea what that, if the difference is significant, I'd like to know, but if it's not, and an alternative material is not going to make a difference, then I guess
we could dig into specifics on that as far as to see if we could pull it back. But with this work, we were looking to, we had actually had that area surveyed and had someone track all the utilities underneath to correct some of the things that we've seen out there as far as the one catch basin and the clean out that sticks up out of the ground. So we were correcting all those things with this work.
Okay.
Mayor, please.
Sorry, just to clarify, so the revolving doors on the other side are going to be just gone.
Yeah, it's going to be.
It's just going to be, there is a door there, but it's no more. Is there going to be a buzzer there for the people that walk in off of Wooddale Road? And I know it's very minimal, but do we have a buzzer there that then they'll be able to walk in through that door?
Chief?
It would be updated to include a timer. Mike, I don't know if we included an intercom system to AC/DC.
I think we did in the vestibule side. We didn't put the intercom on the Wooddale Road side, but
I know it's minimal.
But to your point, we're removing the, I'll just point in here, we're removing the revolving door, so that'll just be a window. And we're actually retrofitting the existing door in that side with the access controls to where that can be open and closed at set times. So that could be during business hours it's open, then it would automatically lock down.
Alderwoman Haynes?
So in looking at the cost then, so for option one, we're at that $195,787, but if we choose to do the new vestibule area, get rid of the revolving doors, then we go up to the, is it 750, 654?
Yes. And that includes all the scope of option one.
Okay. So it's total, not in addition to?
Yes.
Okay.
Mayor, please.
So I know up there you've got the pictures of the windows, and this window shows that you got rid of, it looks like you have clear glass. Are you in the 750, are you replacing that?
No.
No, that's a different, that's the next slide.
So
Okay.
that'd be the next slide. So this would still remain the translucent panel.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yep.
Okay, next option, I guess.
So then, option 2A would be to replace the existing skylight, because there's been comments toward that. So it'd be replaced in kind, because right now it's kind of discolored. So if we just want to replace that, but leaves the end panels, because in talking to the manufacturer, came out and walked it, they looked to where the end panels were replaced at some point, but the top had not been. And that gets into the discoloration. So just to replace the top piece, we got a price from them of $65,102 just to replace that piece.
Mayor, please.
So when you say replace, with new windows, or what's on the other side? Looks like drywall or something.
Okay, so 2A is just to replace it in kind as far as with another skylight like it is now, but clear. But to match the sidewalls. So that would be replacing the piece of the roof. 2B would be removing it all together and closing it in with drywall, and then taking the side panels out and putting that into glass. That's the 2B option.
Continue, Mayor.
So what if we want to just, the original option of 195,000 and get rid of that top piece only and make it drywalled and...
It'd be the 195, if you just want to replace the skylight piece with a new one.
Or with drywall. I'm going to guess it's going to be cheaper than the 65,000.
I think it's probably, it could be a little, we'd have to price out those specifics as far as.
No, I'm just asking if, we don't have to go all the way, but, you know.
I would think it would be less than that as far as to replace it and pull it in solid, yes.
Yeah, and forget to leave the two sides.
As they are.
I mean, that's, everybody's got other ideas, so.
Alderman Hartwoods.
Yeah, all good ideas. I'll make a motion to approve option 1, 195,000 and whatever the...
Second.
What he's talking about is the first option.
$195,787.
2B's all the windows.
Forget it.
Right?
Forget it.
Go back to all the windows. So,
I know what they're
you're talking about the extra 163,000 all the way, all three pieces, right?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion?
So how would it look then for option 1? Which lobby is that going to?
Neither one of those.
Neither one of those?
They didn't do a rendering for the existing, because we already know what it looks like.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah. It's the same windows that are there right now.
Right.
The skylights, like you said, this
So everything's going to be cleaned up, it's all going to be drywall, it's all going to be painted, new trim, new floor, it's going to look like brand new.
Yeah.
The windows remain.
Brand new.
Just the windows remain.
Yeah. Yeah, so the small little square windows would be replaced at the top.
Yeah. The discolored ones, you said?
No.
No, the ones above the door.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, let me go back to
No, that's it,
these.
those windows are going to be changed.
Yeah.
The skylights, sorry, Mayor. So the skylights remain, that's why I said those are all discolored. Just a question, the seals, so the guy came out, the seals are all good on those things? Because sometimes I see them, they're like they look like they're sweating inside, and that means the seals are broken. They're good, though, you said.
We had the manufacturer out, and
Okay.
they said that they were good.
Alderman Messina?
So is there a process to get rid of the discoloration?
It's internal as far as just at the age of that unit, it's not leaking, but this unit was built in, 90s, and it's just, the material over time has just discolored. It's a plastic, it's actually a plastic product.
Follow up?
Yeah, I guess I'm confused and like why do we, better word to use it, why would we half-ass it? We're spending all this money and it's gonna look new, I agree with you, but like, I don't know, that's why I thought like 2A or 2B, one of those might be a better long-term solution when we're done. We put the money in, we do it the right way, so we don't have to take things down and, well, today it's good, the window, but it looks like shit.
No.
City Manager Murmas?
Yeah, I was just going to say it was never the intent to replace those windows. The only reason we're here tonight is because when we were making the lobby freshened up with the new fixtures and whatnot, the mold was discovered. And when the mold was discovered, we had to investigate what caused the mold. It could have potentially been those skylight windows, which are always the topic of conversation, but it was found not to be that. So the council never intended to replace those windows.
Why are we doing pavers? That's not causing the mold.
We never intended to do that either. That was
That's
just.
what I'm saying. This thing has spiraled so out of control that we had a problem, we were supposed to fix it, and now we're talking about fixing pavers. Well, if we're going to do that, like, let's fix the skylight.
Continue.
But it really hasn't spiraled out of control. This is really the major issue that we found, and we have a cost that's pretty decent to correct the issue. It would spiral out of control if we then went and spent the $800,000, which we don't have, but we could find if that's what we want to do.
Chief, you want to respond?
Yeah, just to clarify, if we go with the motion on the table, we are not replacing pavers. That was only if the vestibule was being built
Right.
out towards the parking lot.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Mayor, please?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Basically, only doing pavers if you're redoing the vestibules and the doors on both sides and changing, getting rid of one door. If you, the 2A included the ceiling windows, that was just $65,000 just if you wanted to replace the windows.
Yeah.
So it would, right now we're at 197 or 195.
And just to be clear, the only exterior that's being touched with the motion on the table is the cleanup of the awnings
Yes.
on both sides to fix the drainage issue of the water pooling and getting the water flowing to properly drain.
Can you go back then? Not, so that means it doesn't include the soften that we talked about, or it does?
It does.
Okay, because you didn't say, you were just, okay. You were saying it's only going to include.
So if we were to look at this area, the blues, we just had the image of facing the parking lot. This area, the blue shown would remain. We are tearing out the bottom and the top to help correct some of those things to where we can reform the roof to where it pitches right. Because right now on a heavy rain, if you look out there, the water's pooling opposite the drain.
Okay.
Alderman Artie Woods?
Just a quick, so with the motion on the table, option one, the door that's facing Wooddale Road, nothing would change with that, right?
Nothing would change.
It would operate exactly the way it did. That's it, thank you.
Right.
Okay, we have a motion for the base corrective action for 195,787. Any further discussion?
No, we got a second already.
Any further? Roll call, please.
Alderman Harwood.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderwoman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Artiwood.
Yes.
And Alderman Catalano.
Yes, and let's power wash those bricks. Thank you.
Motion carries. Mayor, please.
Yeah. Just one quick question. So if something happens to that windows on the skylight windows, they could be replaced, no problem, in and out.
Yeah.
Don't mess anything up. Okay.
Thank you very much. Items to be considered at future meetings, amendment to liquor license in the fall. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion adjourned, or meeting adjourned.
All right, I'd like to call to order the Public Works Committee meeting. Let the note taker note that the same elected officials are here. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the September 12th, 2024 Public Works Committee meeting.
Move.
All in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Report and recommendation. I'll make a motion for approval of amendment number 3 to the professional services agreement between the City of Wooddale and Thomas Engineering Group, LLC, for professional engineering services for the fiscal 2023 through 2025 road projects.
Second.
Anyone have any questions or comments? Alderman Catalano?
Is there a list of what streets are going to be taken care of? Do we have a list?
None in the board.
Yes, we have 2 years left remaining on our agreement with Thomas Engineering. The streets that are to be included in the next 2 years are included in a map in your packet.
Okay.
This coming year will be Robin, Welter, and Lincoln Court with Potter Street as an alternate. This amendment tonight will add the Metro parking lot to that program. And the following year after that, we are in Ward 1 in the area of Potter and Ash and Dunley.
And Gilbert Avenue, do you know when that's going to be?
I don't know currently when Gilbert Avenue will be done. We will be doing a street study. We were awarded a grant for some technical assistance from CMAP to develop our own preventative maintenance program. So that survey will be done this October, and then we'll have a better idea come budget season when roads will be resurfaced.
And then also, we need the sewers up, the sewers upsized in that street, so.
We do look at that anytime we do street resurfacing if utilities need to be replaced or improved.
Thank you.
Mayor, please.
Regarding the sewers, we're going to make sure the sewers reach all the way to the ends of the blocks and everything and all that good stuff, right?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Alderman Arkin?
Yes.
Alderman Currielli?
Yes.
Alderman Messina?
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski?
Yes.
Alderwoman Ames?
Yes.
Alderman Artiwood?
Yes.
And Alderman Catalano?
Yes.
And that passes. Items to be considered at future meetings: private street sign, October 10th, pump station pipe painting replacement, October 10th. Anyone else have anything to add? Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
I'd like to call to order the Finance and Administration Committee meeting. And minute taker, can please note that the same members are present. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the September 5th, 2024 Finance and Administration Committee meeting.
Second.
Does anyone have any changes or corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That passes. Report and recommendations. I'd like to make a motion for professional insurance brokerage and risk management consulting services.
Thank you. So the city issued an RFP for insurance and risk management services. The proposals were reviewed by the RFP steering committee on September 12th, where we discussed staff's evaluation, and the recommendation from the steering committee was to continue services with Alliant Insurance, who's our current broker for, again, insurance and risk management services.
Are there any questions? Is there Alderman Artwood?
Were they the lowest price?
So fees were a little bit different amongst the different proposals. There were some that were based solely on commission, based on the policies that we pulled. Others had a flat fee, and others had a much lower fee, but a commission range from 1% to 10%, so it's a little bit of an unknown there. This one is a stable fee that's included with the policies that the city pulls.
Thank you.
Alderman Currielli?
Yeah, the Gallagher proposal looked pretty good to me. Why was it not chosen?
So the Gallagher proposal was amongst one of the top two. It came down to the proposal from Alliant and Gallagher. We found that the services provided matched what we are currently getting through Alliant, and we have that established relationship with Alliant. We know kind of what the process is with Alliant, whereas with Gallagher, there's a little bit of an unknown. They did provide some really cool tools, but we're hopeful we can get those same reports and information from Alliant.
Thank you.
Anything else? Alderman Artie Woods?
Have we reached out to Alliant yet about the training that was missed on the last agreement that you discussed?
Yes, we did. As part of preparing for the final approval by City Council, we had that conversation.
And they're good to do it. Thank you.
Anything else? think we need a second.
I already second.
Did you? I did make the motion.
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Alderman Artwood.
Yes.
Alderman Carey.
Yes.
Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderwoman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Artwood.
Yes.
And Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
And that passes. Items to be considered at future meetings, there are none. Need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Yeah, right.